The high-level meeting will now hear statements from civil society. I now give the floor to the representative of Nuclear Age Peace Foundation.
Honorable Chair and distinguished delegates, to truly understand the absolute imperative of nuclear weapons abolition, we must consider the past, the present, and the future. First, we must learn from the past. We must heed the warnings of the Hibakusha, who experienced the horror of nuclear weapons attacks themselves and have been committed to a world free of these weapons of omnicide ever since. But it would be a mistake to think that nuclear strikes on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were the only time that humanity suffered due to nuclear weapons. The suffering includes a long legacy of nuclear weapons testing on the islands and atolls of Marshall Islands, Kiribati, French Polynesia, and Alaska, in the deserts of the American Southwest, Australia, Kazakhstan, and China, and elsewhere around the world. This legacy consists of decades of physical health effects, such as increased rates of cancer and negative maternal impacts, as well as mental and cultural demise. My own work with Columbia University colleagues and students, for example, suggests that radiological contamination remains unacceptably high to this day in parts of the Marshall Islands. Next, we must consider the present. Today's arsenals consist of around 13,000 nuclear warheads, most of which are 10 to 100 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. Moreover, the existence of interballistic missiles means that many warheads can be delivered simultaneously in short periods of time. In 1945, there was no option to retaliate for the U.S. attacks on Japan, but today, a nuclear weapon explosion anywhere would almost certainly elicit a nuclear response. The scale of devastation would be simply unfathomable, and the fact that we have circumvented nuclear war so far is no guarantee of future safety. Luck is not a strategy, warned the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres just last month in this very building. Finally, the use of even fractions of the current arsenals would result in hundreds of millions of direct deaths and even billions due to starvation, depending on the exact number of the weapons used and their details. The latter is a consequence of something scientists called nuclear winter more than 4 decades ago. The results of a recent study of nuclear winter are simply terrifying and spell out the end of human civilization as we know it, and potentially of the human species. All countries around the world must recognize that they have a stake in this fight. For more than 40 years, the Nuclear Age Peace Foundation has been committed to a world free of nuclear weapons. We urge all states that haven't done so already to sign or ratify the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. Humanity's very existence hangs in the balance. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I thank the Nuclear Age Peace Foundation's president for her statement. We have heard the last speaker for this meeting. This afternoon at 3 p.m., we shall continue to hear statements in this hall. The meeting is adjourned.